Warp. Warp. Alright, cool. So it's working. Gotta test my audio at the beginning, as you all know. Hello to the one concurrent viewer so far. Doing my weekly stream. Alright, so it is the 27th one of these. It's weird to me that there's been this many and that people are interested, but like the Odyssey one of these had 18 views, which is odd to me because like I would think that the Odyssey one would get like barely any at all ever, because it's like, you know, it's not like those people were here for the live experience. So hello to the Odyssey people who might see this. But these are my weekly informal streams. And as soon as I can get my post-workout twitchy-ass muscles to stop spasming enough, I'm going to tweet this out. Then I'm going to share it in a few places. Including my server here. So that'll be there. And then that fucking that and here. Hello to those who are here so far. Valor says beyond. Yeah, see, like, I think these these fucking titles are just gonna get progressively worse. I also have food because I just worked out. My day has been packed. I've been working on content literally all day. The first thing I did before my workout, which had to be short because I sort of ran this too far to the end, the first thing I did today was I wrote an article about CBDC. So that should be out. You'll be happy to know, Skyzone, that I was about to. I literally have your DMs up here. I will send that as proof. So that, and also I'm going to send this to a bunch of people specifically on Discord or on Twitter. Yeah, like I shared it on Twitter, and I blasted it to the server, but I message everybody individually after that so that people can start like piling in. I hope that makes sense. But now to message some people directly on Twitter. Also, today has already been hectic because I went up against Lincoln again, and that almost always catches me some flack. So, it caught me some flack again. I'm so surprised. Hey, Minty. Hope you are well. Fucking time to spat this in some grap. I have the best way of putting things. Where else should I send anything? I think that's good for now. Yeah, it should be fine. Cool. So, for those of you who are new to this channel, hello. I don't know what prompted you to hit subscribe, but I do a weekly stream where I go over the comments that have been left on videos and also directly interact with the chat. And yeah, that and them. These and those. No one knows. I have been sent to fish. I gotta make sure my my desktop audio is off in case this is gonna be loud. I think that's just a really elaborate way to fish react, but it's amusing. Either way. Oh, okay, well, so I have to react to that. Here is a hedgehog for your fish. So, if you've got something you want to discuss, feel free to throw it in my chat here, and we can do that. I got one of my protein pancakes. Oh, okay, that's something to address. People ask me how I get it thick. I get it thick because I add wheat farina to it. I add wheat farina, and and that increases the iron content, which is necessary for proper proper testosterone production, androgens in general, really. And it's also good for thickening because it's very hearty. And if you don't cook it like completely until it's like a gel, like most people cook their cream of wheat, if you like leave it a little uncooked, then it forms a really good stable structure for making a pancake batter very thickenable. And then you've just got to cook it low and slow on each side until it's like evenly like heated throughout, and you get this nice like cake-like sort of spring. You'll see that. So that's how I do it. Also eggs. Like every one of my protein pancakes has at least one egg in it. And yes, sometimes I also put bone in them because, as those of you who've been following me for some time know, I eat bones. So yeah, but these ones do not have bones. These are boneless pancakes. What are these new YouTube emojis? I don't know, but I don't know why there's like some pink spray coming from that hand. I did not add these. That looks kind of like a latex glove. Boneless bone. Thoughts on Sonic Frontiers? It's great. It's very good. It does like everything a 3D Sonic should, and also gives people some new room to explore. I feel like some of the controls are a little squirrely, but they're getting used to a new way to do things and still making it feel like a Sonic game, because a lot of the momentum-based fan games fuck it up extremely. First boneless pizza. But here's the thing though. Boneless pizza, my pizza is never boneless. When I have pizza, there's bones in it. Dude, it feels like the last Can't Lonathieu says, dude, it feels like the last stream only happened a day or two ago, lol. Yeah, dude, the time has been going by much faster. Like, I will have a call with my family, and then it feels like the next day I'm having another call with my family. Because I do one every week. It's a very weird thing. But Sky is saying Sonic mid-tier. You've got to play it though, and you haven't yet. And I can tell that because you're calling it mid. Every reviewer, like, it's one of those things where like every reviewer, with very few exceptions, likes it, and the fans like it as well. And where the only people who don't like it are people who didn't finish it or didn't play it to begin with. So that's my take. Some guy at my school lit a garbage can on fire on Monday. Based. Don't do that. Any one of you, don't listen to anybody who calls that based. It's definitely not based. Anyway, I after I'm done with my little disclaimer there. Um, Minty says, I saw a comment someone saying Sonic Frontiers sucks and admitted they didn't play it. Yep. Yeah. There were like a few reviewers on like YouTube who said they didn't like it, and then their audiences went over to Metacritic and spammed a bunch of bad reviews. But it wasn't bad. It was like the game does what people have been asking it to do. Like all the people who hated Sonic, they didn't like it for reasons that are being addressed in this game. Like the only kind of reason I would say needs to like be fixed, but probably will eventually, because this was sort of like a proof of concept for like future gameplay styles. The only thing that really like stuck out to me as sort of bothersome, other than like the mildly screwy controls, was the fact that they did the whole like, oh, we're starting with Green Hill Zone again thing again. So yeah. But like it's still a great game, and I can like envision myself playing it for years after beating it, because it's got a lot of replay potential. Minty says, I haven't played the game, but I heard the ending was disappointing. Well, I haven't seen the ending, but I'll let you know what I think when I have. Valor says, also, I'm in economics class and soon I'm getting into personal finance. Do you think if I were to give you what I learned from the class, you think that could help you? Oh, are you asking me to do a video on what you're learning? Because if so, then yes. I mean, sure. If you want to throw me your learning material, then I could definitely do some like what they don't want you to know kind of material. And also, if anybody needs some voiceover work that sounds like this, saying things like this is what they don't want you to know, then you know who to talk to. Anyway, so with that in mind, we got some comments to get to, and this is also brought to you by the sponsors in the comments or in the description, and the sponsors include Presearch, free blockchain-based privacy-forward search engine with no tracking. You can search all the major providers without tracking. It's good stuff. Yeah. Psycho says, nice stream, just started. Yeah, so I do one of these every week at around this time. So if you want to get in on these on a regular basis, it'll be like 7 p.m. Eastern on Saturdays. And it's also sponsored by Liberty Professionals. If you're either in Texas or if you just want some remote consulting, he's a private security professional, and he also can give you a security consult on how to secure your home, small business, and life from anywhere. So either if you wanted to do private investigation in Texas or private security in Texas or that sort of thing, you get in him up there. And if you just want to do something remote, he can help you there too. It's also brought to you by BRUSHFIRE 2048. Matt Wojtecki, he has been a supporter of my stuff before, and his previous book was great. And this sequel is all about the state of things to come in 2048. And it's a sequel to the previous one. If you've got a conspiracy theorist in your life and you're looking for a gift for him for Christmas, it's a sci-fi dystopian kind of fiction book, and it's great. So feel free to do that. There are plenty of ways to support by the links in the description, and if you're interested, you can get emails. That's the way that I will keep in contact with y'all if Twitter bans me again, which they probably will, because Elon Cuck is being stupid piece of shit again. So, I've got 8 concurrent viewers on this, so hello to y'all. If there's anything you want to discuss in chat, feel free to hit me up. I'm going to start addressing this week's comments now. Valor says he'll take some notes from the class when he gets into it. Cool. Because I guarantee you, whatever economics are teaching you, it's bullshit. It's completely untrue. Fucking aspirating pancake chunks. All right, so I gotta do the Matt Pat voice. All right, fucking crest spit out of my throat here. There are a lot of comments. Holy shit, this could last 800 hours. The SEC is attacking free speech, and Elbury is burning. That's on vlog 151. Well, they're folding two. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Valor says cool on pick. So, thumb and a heart. Skyzone says, can you shout out the fact that Fallout New Vegas is on sale for $370 for the next 12 days? I mean, okay. It's a good game. Especially with some of the mods that improve graphical, like sort of issues. Nev says, just lurking, mate. Well, hello, Nev. I hope your day is going well. Also, I'm going to try and get something going with Harrison and Kareem again to see if we can get another stream up relatively soon. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. So, Troll says on Money Won the Election, vlog 152, it's almost like Citizens United was actually bad, no matter how much they flip-flop on it. Yep, yeah, thumb and a heart on that. Citizens United, ooh, corporations are people. We're going to treat them like people. Because then we can give them legal protections. Yeah, that was always... Corporations were already... like separate legal entities, where Conking could write about that in the 80s and be correct. You know, how they were separate legal entities endowed with privileges, how you can't be a corporation without seeking government permission, how they're essentially arms of the state because they, you know, they are created by the state to do things that the state can't do legally. But they can do it legally because they're private. No, they're not. And they don't call themselves private either. They're like public entities. So Citizens United was always just a way to basically codify the same kind of corporate corruption they've been doing forever. So Nev says, played Warzone 2.0 a couple days ago and got killed by a team called Taxes or Theft. It was most amusing. I would be amused too, yeah. I gotta play that at some point. I haven't even played Warzone 1 though. Like, when it came out, there were more, like, pressing matters in my life. Same video. Eek says, cash always wins. This is related to back when I still believed in local sheriffs, too. They are just politicians who are bought and paid for by the highest bidders, though. Yeah, because, you elected a sheriff. Well, fantastic. Fan-fucking-tastic you elected a sheriff. Elections are won by the person who spends the most money on the campaigns. This has been repeatedly and reliably proven by people like Open Secrets. So, anyone acting like, oh, we elected a sheriff, so what? If your sheriff won, it's probably because they were fundamentally corrupt in some way. You know, anybody who is elected sheriff probably is the last person who should be one. He says, I've downloaded it as it's free. Ah, well, I'll have to check that out then. Sky says, got sniped in Fortnite by a guy named TTF Castration. Okay, I don't know what that means, but other than the castration part, obviously. Nev says, I'll DM you my Activision ID so we can play together should you choose to play. Alright, go for it. And I'm Insanity is free pretty much everywhere, so people can find me by that. Like, the only sort of blip on that radar was when fucking the Twitter account got suspended. And that was a blip in the radar. It was still like, I'm still basically just Insanity is free everywhere. And like, now that that's back too. So he continues, there's no easy way for the little guys to ever out-influence the wealthy oligarchs, either at a local level or a higher one. The current voting election system exists and is promoted specifically because it works for them to maintain control. It's the same way for the justice system too. Yeah, basically. Thumb and a heart. The same video, the spoiler claim is almost dumber than the vote or shut up claim or argument. This is from the antisocial contract. The fact that these attitudes are ubiquitous among voters reflects extremely poorly on all of them. Voters are anti-society and dangerous conformists. 100%. Like, oh no, you are the reason that we fucking lost. Well, maybe you didn't represent people well enough. Like, my whole point in that video was basically just shut the fuck up about voting because you're fucking stupid. Like, there's a significant amount of like people who legitimately want good things with voting, but like even those people will act like people who don't are the problem generally, and the people who don't usually have the right of it, you know. And I'm saying usually because while I think that that's the case in all cases, uh, I'm saying usually just to make sure that I don't like leave out some case like an edge case or whatever. So, yeah, like it's yeah. Got another scammer saying when you stop chasing the wrong things, you give the right things a chance to catch you. I don't want to be stalked. Make $750 per day. I'm gonna remove that comment. Your crypto investment crashed? Good. Vlog 153. True indeed, bro. Well said. 100 and money bag emoji. Personally, I keep my crypto in a cold storage wallet. I'm gonna get rich. Good. Yeah, because that's non-custodial. That's where you can, you know, have a valuable opinion there. Like, if your wallet is custodial, do not blame other people that your crypto investment crashed. It's not necessarily even like Sam's fault, Sam Bankman-Fried. Yeah, he fucked you over, but you shouldn't have given him custody. You shouldn't have given him your money on a massively you know, MSM approved fucking cryptocurrency exchange. You should just keep your money. You know? Wow, that's hard. It's so hard to just have a cold storage wallet or to know your seed phrase and have your keys. Nev says, my wallets are on an HD that isn't even installed in a PC. Good. Good. Because that's how you prevent things like FTX, you know, SBF telling you, oh yeah, sorry, I absconded with $10 billion worth of your stuff and now we have a liquidity crisis. No, you always had a liquidity crisis because your business was fundamentally insolvent. Minty says, what is FTX? FTX was the biggest cryptocurrency exchange on the planet. And it was really big because all these MSM outlets and figures and actors and, you know, all these Hollywood elite, they were pushing it like drugs because it was legitimate and fighting for the little guy and blah, blah. It was a lot like Robinhood in that way. And that, like, it was sort of, you know, oh, this is the way that the common person does it. It makes sense. Look at it. You can make so much money. And like the ad campaign for FTX was like Larry David. But basically, the guy took $10 billion worth of the cryptocurrency and threw it into his own trust that he used to invest in companies that he wanted to. And then suddenly they had a liquidity crisis, which means that they didn't have enough liquid assets to pay off people when they came in for their own money that they, you know, were entitled to because they put it into that thing for that purpose, not so that SBF could go jack off with it. So basically, he stole $10 billion of people's money while pretending to be a woke leftist, even though he was a state capitalist the whole way. And during that whole exchange, eventually, a bunch of people get fucked over, and they were like, well, where's my fucking money? And he's like, I'm moving to the fucking Dubai. So that's what happened there. So Ethan Noble on the same video says this was gold, bro. Well, good to hear it. Thumb and a heart. Mr. Xavier says CBDC push while making crypto contraband in the imminent future. Yep, yeah. Actually, that's part of what my article is about, Xavier. And part of what my future videos were about as well. Minty says NGL, when mainstream news and celebrities are involved, something like this was bound to happen. Yeah, because they don't like it. None of these people like cryptocurrency. They don't even know how it works. That's why they need this dumb fucking intermediary exchange in order to do anything with it, because they don't know how distributed ledger technology works. They don't know how to run a node. They don't know what custodial versus non-custodial, cold storage versus hot storage. They don't know jack shit. You know, so when they come in and say, hey, this is the app I use, I'm like, who fucking cares? What do you know about this stuff? Do you know anything, or are you just doing what you're paid to do and giving an ad? You fuck nugget. Kim Kardashian promoted it. Kim Kardashian promoted a cryptocurrency, and she lost a lawsuit where she had to, like, pay a huge amount of money because she promoted something she didn't fucking understand, and a bunch of people got fucked over. Wow. You know, it's almost like these people don't understand it, and they're part of the entrenched financial elite, or they do understand it, and they want to sabotage it. And so they go with all these options that aren't good and don't work. And then eventually there's liquidity crises and fucking regulatory crises and crises. And suddenly there's organizations like this going tits up and people getting sued and people doing the modern day equivalent of bank runs. And suddenly, ooh, cryptocurrency is bad and it needs regulation. Shut the fuck up. Holy shit. Anyway. I got animated with that one. More pancake. Richard Beard, resident Marxist who follows my stuff, says 100% on point as always. Good to hear. On the same video. And Eek on the same video says, just like with normal bank deposits, once deposited, ownership changed from you to them. Yeah. And then the fractional reserve system operates a lot like this liquidity crisis, only it's with a lot more hands holding the assets and FDIC insurance. So it's like a lot less risky when they do fractional reserve than this. And fractional reserve already sucks wet asshole. So fuck that. It all sucks. Yeah, thumbing this down, Monotomatico, who just posts a bunch of, like, characters that spell the word Jews. Like, without a bunch of people of a bunch of different races, that wouldn't have happened. It's not Jews. And the second biggest exchange, the one that's now the current biggest exchange, is fucking Binance, an Asian market. So unless you're gonna say China and another set of characters, you're fucking worthless in this regard. Stop doing that. Like, actually understand that the problem is power, not the race of the person wielding it. Holy shit. Nick Giovanni on Joe Rogan admits he lied about furries. I was right. Vlog 148. He says, huge Rogan fan. Everything he says is truth and fact. Unfortunately, the left can't accept it well because they are Democrat lefty apostrophe s Biden snowflake ... God, are you fucking net negative? Holy shit. First off, like, everything nobody says is the truth. Like, I have been wrong too, and I'm right a shit ton, like, more than most people. Like, I have an excellent track record, and I'm not right all the time. I have been wrong. I have fucked up, and so is Joe Rogan. He fucked up here. He admitted he fucked up, and you're a bootlicking little pussy piece of shit. Fucking Nick Giovanni over here. And lefties with, like, a possessive there. You can't even spell. Holy shit. You know? Like, and Joe Rogan identifies as a lefty, you cunt. Holy shit. And Democrats aren't leftists. Everything in your comment is fucking bullshit. You know? Everything. Biden's not a leftist. He does exactly the same stuff as Trump and Bush. And, you know, these people are all on the same team, all on one big club that you ain't in. And you should start to realize that, because holy shit. And then he goes on in another comment to say, furries are real. It's not a lie. I never said furries aren't real. I said that they don't identify as cats, as, like, you know, the same kind of thing as a gender. And I said that they don't ask for litter boxes to be installed in public restrooms. You're fucking stupid, Nick Giovanni. Holy shit. He lied. He admitted he lied. And now you're just lying more for him? Thumbs down on both of those. Holy shit. Bootlicker. Like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna suck his wet asshole every time he says something. Fucking garbage. Nothing is that worth it. Nothing is that correct all the time. That's 3 thumbs down in a row. We've got a racist and a fucking... and a fucking dumb motherfucker who can't even type properly defending Joe Rogan. I'm pretty sure that he's not gonna fuck you, bro. Anyway. Cold Highway, a top commenter on this channel, says, it's always funny hearing conservatives on This Is Money Won the Election, vlog 152. It's always funny hearing conservatives complaining about libertarians being on the ballot and blaming them for their losses. Never mind that in some places the Constitution Party, a paleocon party, runs alongside the Libertarian and other candidates, but they never get any blame. In addition, it's not like the Democrats have an easy time either sometimes. In some states, you have the Greens running against them and the Republicans. When Democrats were blaming Ralph Nader for the 2000 election, conservatives correctly said that's how competition works. But of course, only when it's their opponents who face it. When conservatives face competition, it's Democrat plants, Soros, etc. Yeah. And you know, it is Soros plants, but it's also Koch plants, and it's also Teal plants, and it's also the fact that all these entrenched business organizations and government and, you know, mega corporate interests, banking, they're all affiliated. They're all part of the same institutions, so of course they're going to have each other's back and keep each other's assholes nice and wet. Thumb and a heart. So, like, yeah, I mean, and it's super funny, too, because they're massively inconsistent, and it's easy to point that out. Oh, also, shout out to Rescind, who bought me a couple things that'll help. Once I get a cloning kit, I can use an SSD that she bought, and also you're looking at me through a newer, sharper, smoother camera, so you can probably notice a difference in picture quality, a marginal improvement. But he also said on your crypto investment crashed good vlog 153, he said, with crypto, it's either a non-custodial wallet or nothing. It's just sad how the crypto space is full of so many scammers such as these people, which also gives them more fuel to governments who want to suppress it. Yeah, basically. And it's like, that's the whole point of it. That's the reason that this was allowed to happen for so long and was only stopped once people found out, because the government was already on board with anything that would make cryptos look bad. If they can make cryptos look bad, they can justify more like actions like they did against Ross Ulbricht. It's why if Biden actually cared about stopping, you know, mindless convictions, he would have pardoned Ross Ulbricht and also all other non-violent drug offenders. You know, oh, you sold a drug? Wow, that's so awful. Was my son one of the customers? Fucking piece of shit, Biden. Anyway. Oh, and Nick Giovanni. In case you see this stream and you get past the fact that you're an obsequious little boot-looking pussy, you know, that's my view on Biden. Biden sucks. And I don't have to like Joe Rogan lying about furries to think Biden sucks. Okay? Skyzone says, furrophobes mad. Everything I say is the truth because I said so, therefore making it truth. Yeah, basically. Basically, that's it. You know? Oh. It's fucking We're From America by Marilyn Manson, where he's like, we believe in everything we say, and we said it because we believe it. You know? You'll get that reference, I'm assuming you listen to like all the Manson songs like I did. On the U.S. government is testing a national cryptocurrency, Vlog 153. Valor says, wow. So, hi, wow. Mr. Knight says, it was always baffling how even some Christians will read through Revelation and still not see how things, at the very least, leading up to the government having full financial control over the people. Mostly on Facebook and Reddit. A lot of Christians I find on Twitter are anarchists. Good, yeah. But, like, also, yes, because they want to believe that it's only going to be lefties and not fucking, you know, all these hyper-capitalist interests. That's the reason that a lot of these alleged Christians will worship Elon Musk into the early grave. Troll says, inflate existing away, use digital. Or use digital in spite of inflation because they can constantly use inflation controls. And then it doesn't matter how much it is. You can have digital Weimar. How's that sound? I paint the nicest pictures of the future. I got tacos. I made tacos. Thumb and a heart. And also, by the way, reminder, you can't be a Christian statist. It doesn't work. You can't serve two masters because you'll grow to love one and hate the other, or love one and hate the other. Or hate one and love the other, that one. You can't walk the narrow and the broad path at the same time. You can't walk in darkness and light. You can't serve both God and mammon. There's so many reasons in the Bible that you can't be both a statist and a Christian. It just doesn't fucking work. Either be an anarchist or serve the state that man created. You know? Serve them. Is economic inflation a pyrocynical reference? It is not. But it would be funny if it was. He's just like a time traveler who can go back in time and create the term inflation. Now that's epic. Fucking same video. Talking to politicians you know isn't going to stop the globalists. A war might though. Yeah, but like that was sarcasm. I hope you caught that. I was being sarcastic in that particular segment because I don't think talking to politicians does anything. But what it does do is it gives you free airtime because a lot of town meetings are televised and stored on C-SPAN and shit. So if you wanted to get in on some C-SPAN action, you could definitely do that. You have options. But yeah, I mean, definitely, it's not going to help. It's not going to help to talk to them specifically because they don't give a shit. In fact, they want it to work that way. They want it to be controllable because it increases their control and cements their power. Minty in chat says talking to politicians is like talking to a brick wall. Yep, yeah. Like, oh, did my corporate donors approve this? No? Man, shucks. Can't. On Censor the Internet, it's for the kids, promise. Vlog 154. Valor says thumb. So, thumb and a heart. Mr. Knight on comedy is now illegal on Twitter. Says, I know YouTube is kind of shit, but I don't think even they would monetize verification and do what Musk did. Yeah, basically. Like, a whole lot of platforms are just, worse as soon as somebody like Elon Musk takes over. And Twitter is now worse now that Elon Musk has taken over. It's now worse for free speech because he has a bunch of new stupid little policies that are making it harder for the common person to say something. You know? And what's more, let's say I'm fleeing government oppression. It's not like Twitter has a no logs policy. It's not like Twitter's not going to tell the government who I am if that government wants me gone. Like, let's say I'm an Iranian woman protester, etc. you know, trying to flee the theocratic oppression of blah blah. You know, I don't want the government to have proof that I'm the one who said something. And so either my message, which is very negative, by the way, gets suppressed by Elon Musk, or it has to be verified by paying $8 and attaching my government name and government payment information to my tweets, which means that the government now has all the legal evidence they need to execute me or something. And this is considered good for free speech by fucking loser-ass pieces of shit. I hate Musk stans. They suck so much. Rescind says, who would have ever guessed? Laughing emoji. She also says, it's the opposite of a breath of fresh air. Yep, more like a stale Musk fart. Yeah, pretty much. Thumb and a heart on both of those. Eek says, it's a cult, haha. Yeah, Musk is a cult. Also, hello. Your ad read is now changed in the description, so you can review that and let me know what you think of it. And if anyone else wants to sponsor my content, you're free to, because, like, I will take money for say words online. Yes? Was out at the store, made it here late. Well, if there's anything you want to discuss, you can still post it in chat. Because, like, I've only been at this for 40 minutes. I'm pretty much, like, able to go for, like, 60 more minutes, maybe. Probably closer to 50. And I'm eating tacos right now because I just did my workout right before this and I need the protein, so. If you don't get your protein in, like, within the next 2 hours after the fucking stream, or the workout, or, like, the 2 hours prior, ideally both, it doesn't do nearly as good a job because you're not getting the sort of protein synthesis in your muscles and bones and shit. So, it's always good to do that. Mr. Knight says on Sense of the Internet, it's for the Kids Promise, Vlog 154, if children need protection online, it ultimately falls on the parents. Schools blocking sites is a good step, and your suggestion of banning pedos from sites that have children on them, yeah, good too. It is beyond me as to why they don't teach homeowners how to take control of the router when the AT&T guy sets it up. Yeah, well, probably because they would rather people call more AT&T guys and keep those guys employed. Artificial employment makes their numbers look good, makes them look all responsive and shit. Also, I forgot to tick live chat, so I hope people haven't been sending a whole lot of messages here. Holy shit, there are a lot of messages I didn't read yet. One moment. Skyzone says, don't be part of the problem, be the whole problem. Yep, yeah. Minty says, Pol Pot be like, step 1, blow up the banks. 2, kill 25% of the population. LOL. What is... Yeah, Minty over here saying, the woke Democrat Biden-loving lefties are sacrificing our babies to the furry sex cult. Yep. Minty says, I'm convinced the missile strike in Poland was a false flag, kind of like when the Nazis perpetrated a false flag in Poland to go to war. Yeah. Yeah. Eek says, Musk is to social media as that dude in FTX are to crypto. Yeah, basically. Minty says, conservatives really hate Bill Gates for saying more vaccines, but love Musk for planting microchips in brains and now making Twitter worse. Hey! He's not planting microchips in brains. He's sticking it to the side of your head and sticking wires in the brain. Get it right, liberal! He says, I won't mention the name of the program, but the government has a direct tap into Twitter. It's used for intel collection and other things. Musk today was talking about using Twitter for voting. It made me laugh. Was tempted to reply to him saying, including all the bots and government accounts? Yeah. Yeah. Skyzone says, what the hell is going on with FTX? I don't even know what it is or what's happening. Big fucking cryptocurrency exchange. Guy who ran it scammed people out of like $10 billion and then ran away, so the platform collapsed and is declaring bankruptcy. And a bunch of people are out of their money. And SBF is fleeing to Dubai. Sam Bankman-Fried, the guy who's behind it. He says, reminds me of a chick I saw on Boo today. She had a poster of 1984, but was pro-transhumanism and Musk. Fucking great. Double plus great, actually. Nev says, Skyzone, Upper Echelon Gamers did a really good video on it. Gotcha. He says, money laundering for Ukraine, too. Yeah, so he would literally donate through his trust that he sent $10 billion he stole from his customers, thus creating the liquidity crisis, to like charities in Ukraine, who then supported the politicians who would further the war effort. It's a military-industrial complex kind of cycle here, and FTX was a component of a part of it. Minty says, a really funny tweet I saw of a guy saying if Russia doesn't win, it'll be a triumph of transhumanism and cyborgs. I mean, the guy's got a point. I mean, Ukraine literally wants a smart government, a smart country based on AI, and AI governments, AI courts, AI banks, AI facial recognition fucking everywhere. They want a literal dystopia, and they're building it in Ukraine post-war, along with e-citizenship, where you get to be an e-citizen of Ukraine and do your business all online from the comfort of your cell phone, which basically means we'll let you have an artificial address in our country as long as you, pay us taxes so that we can milk that tax revenue for, rebuilding our government in the image of the World Economic Forum. Oh no, you sound like Alex Jones. Ha! Ha ha ha! I'm more insane than Alex Jones, motherfuckers. Skyzone says, Breaking Bad fans, when they see a crippled Hispanic person, is literally a reference. LOL. Yeah. Or should I say, ah! only based Breaking Bad fans understood what I just did there. Eek says, any bets on if the dude will ever go to prison? I have doubts. I'm thinking probably he won't. I'm thinking probably he'll be allowed to escape to Dubai while people are looking for him. I think he's going to be the next John McAfee, but without any of the being like a good person or interesting or having a plan for actual liberation or anything like that. Yes, actual billboards along the Black Sea within Ukraine to have sex with girls so young as 11, too. Ukraine, such a wonderful place. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. And, then we have fucking domestic conservatives trying to lower the age of consent, and I literally have a poll up on Twitter where, a bunch of Matt Walsh fans, 250 of them, came to my poll and said, yeah, it's okay to have sex with 16-year-olds. They're adults at that point. So, yeah, the world is fucked, and conservatives aren't making it better. He says, fuck that place in particular. Ukraine had become the sex capital of Europe. Vomit. Tons of trafficking. Yep, yeah. The most corrupt place in the world, and all in Europe. And also, fucking... literally just a data hub for the U.S. government and their security state through helping people like Amazon spy on literally everyone with a Ring doorbell, etc., so that it became a nice police network where everybody who has a Ring doorbell is contributing to a surveillance grid in their local neighborhood. So that means that basically, with very few exceptions in America right now, everywhere is being surveilled on a street level, and it's very hard to run from the police now if they really want to get you. If they really want to find you, they've got more ways to do that than ever now. And they call it safer neighborhoods, but really it just gave, like, Ukrainians the ability to see your fucking house and everything about you. And, oh, now suddenly we're in a war. Like, after the U.S. suddenly used Ukraine as a sort of, like, business and vassal state in the region forever, now suddenly the Ukrainian government has the leverage to demand that we support them in this war effort, no matter how many Nazis are there, because the wokeness was only paper deep. Matt Walsh, Minty says Matt Walsh also claimed that anime is satanic. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he's a laughable little fucking gnome. Fucking piece of shit. Eek says, or how the Ukrainian military was sent there to kill the local police because they refused to follow orders. You can look up the video of the gunfight. It was epic. The Odessa massacre still pisses me off. The people in the building were gassed. Camera systems track vehicles live as they move. Yeah. Minty says, Euros have the balls to talk about how democratic and free Ukraine is when it's one of the most authoritarian and corrupt states in Europe, especially for, like, LGBTQ people, fucking black and brown people, Muslims, Russians. Like, you can't be anything but Ukrainian. If you are Ukrainian, good, you did it. Now we can not treat you like shit. If you're just an ethnic Ukrainian and you toe the line and don't rock the boat at all. Don't support the West either, or you'll be on their kill list. It wouldn't surprise me if I got big enough at some point if I was added to that kill list. Like, if I get big at all, I'm going to be on that kill list. 100%. Eek says PIs can get access to those databases, so you know they have better than it. Don't you dare speak Russian, too. Taped to a pole and beat. Yep, yeah. Basically. By people with Nazi tattoos and patches, no less. But they're the good guys. But yeah, like, all of that is a thing. So, feel free to throw more things you want to discuss in the chat. Because we're heading to the end. I don't think there's anything on Odyssey. I can check, though. Oh, Michi says, don't be surprised if NAFO trolls start spamming Slava Ukraini and Putin bot on your Twitter and YouTube. They showed up for a little bit and then walked away. There was a thing a short while back. I don't remember how long ago it was or what actually happened. Oh, I got one comment. Okay. But, like, they were mad about my anti-NATO posts and shit, and they were coming in with bullshit, and then they walked away. But the guy behind NAFO is literally a Nazi, so nice disproving my point, NAFO. North American Fellas Organization, or North Atlantic. So, on Disinformation is Now a Crime on Odyssey, we have Open to Knowledge saying, you're an idiot, just like any other idiot. Great start. You've said that Twitter banned you for 1.5 years, and I bet you couldn't wait to be back in it. Waited for a whole 1.5 years just so you could be back in it. I didn't, though. I was in it still. I didn't walk away, and I'm everywhere else too, including here, you cunt. Just like Facebook, the more Facebook banned the idiots, the more the idiots felt like they needed to be in Facebook. The more they ban idiots, the more idiots will struggle to be in some shit where they don't even have freedom to speak. Or I'm everywhere, so that I'm still talking to all the people who are over there and helping those people understand freedom better. But I guess you're not open to knowledge after all. You get one of these splats that Odyssey gives you. Fuck off, bitch. I hope you see this content and cry. I I can imagine talking to me on a blockchain platform that I've clearly been on for years and telling me that I'm only on the censored platforms. Go fuck yourself, bitch. Eat shit out of my gaping asshole. Eek says it would be a badge of honor because of my Twitter content. I'm sure the U-Crops don't like me at all, lol. Yeah, basically. Minty says, a Polish Nazi. Never mind the fact that Poles were deemed subhuman. Yeah, well, hey, Poland is always used as a nice handy excuse, so maybe he just wants to rile it back up again. And also, like, you know, Ukrainian Nazis, they are often of a class that Hitler would have, like, thrown out too. Or, like, opposed in general. So, Skyzone says, bro got splatted. Yeah, well, see, they don't have a downvote function in, like, just a thumb thing. They've got fire and splat. So, I think it's, like, supposed to simulate throwing rotten food at somebody. I don't care what it is. I'm just using it because it's there. Sounds like the typical book-burning Nazi, lol. Yeah, basically. Anyway, that's the last comment, so y'all can feel free to post things in chat. Also, there's 4 new episodes of the AgoristNexus podcast. Overwatch Impact fans showing off their $0 water bill. I don't know what that's referencing, but okay. So if y'all want to see more content from me, there is literally 4 more hours of content available from this week. So okay. So the difference between the previous camera and this one, Eek, first off, is smoothness. You'll notice a smoother motion track here. It's a lot less blurry when things are moving. Things are a lot more fluid. The second thing is greater levels of detail. You can see more individual hairs and shit. So, like, if I were to move my hand in front of the camera, for instance, you could really see, like, every aspect of my skin here. So, that's the general thing there. And it's also a new hard drive, but I need to buy a cloning kit. So I'll be doing that relatively soon. Because I thought my motherboard had 2 M2 slots in it. And I, like, opened it up one morning to install this drive. And basically I found out that there's actually only one SSD drive and or slot. And it's occupied by the current one. So I have to clone that one, then I can put this one in that one, and then I can put this in an enclosure and put that in this. And then I'll have this, like, the expanded storage. So I'll be spending like $30 getting a good dock for my new SSD, and then replacing the old one. That's the current plan. SATA slots, it doesn't have 4. It has 3 SATA slots, but it's not SATA. It's M2, so. Kant says war crime in Ukraine. Yeah, so Kant actually showed me war crimes that were being perpetuated. I think he got sent it by another subscriber of mine. And basically, there were a bunch of Russian soldiers who had surrendered and were lying disarmed face down. And then suddenly, they were opened fire upon and left for dead. So that happened, and it's not like, you know, I hadn't seen stuff like that before. Like, there's a lot of stuff like that. The mainstream media just doesn't want you to see it. They'll post some fucking footage of Russia being terrible, but they'll never post footage of Ukraine being terrible. It goes against the narrative. So. And also, the camera will be improved quality as well when I fuck around with some settings. So, generally, there's some settings that I need to change, some things I need to work on. And once that happens, it's good enough quality with low enough levels of snow, which might be something else you can notice in this recording versus the last recording, the last stream. You can see a lot more snow with the other camera, whereas this camera has a lot less snow and better color accuracy. And what that means is that the same supporter got me a green screen. And this green screen will be usable to make epic backgrounds for true gamer content. And basically, it will mean that I'm no longer, just Joe Schmo in my fucking bedroom. I can pretend to be somewhere else that's less disorganized. And I think it'll generally improve my content capability, especially since I can make content with me just like over an interesting background. It'll be more like a news broadcast and less like what I'm doing right now. But like I'm still not going to talk like a news broadcaster, because I'm never going to let that happen to me. I'm never going to become a corporate mascot. Eek says Russia takes prisoners, encourages it. Yeah, and the funny thing is that Russia took very strategic prisoners this last time they did it. They took prisoners where the U.S. media, in order to celebrate the prisoner exchange, would have to celebrate the exchange of Nazis. That's pretty fucking smart, because then the U.S. media suddenly had to, either ignore the story entirely, which would be bad for the propaganda and gives us the money, and they either had to do that, or they had to post that these Nazis are such adorable people that we should support them. Just a widow Nazi woo. And I made a video about that not too long ago. Minty says, you would not believe all the Russophobic hate I've seen on Twitter by pro-Ukraine accounts. These libchits went mask off when the war started. Yeah, basically. Saul Goodman Law Office green screen when? Let's say I'll do the Saul Goodman Law Office green screen when my Ko-fi reaches $200 a month. Because putting a constitution behind me is going to be something else altogether. Nev says, I miss my green screen studio. Well, I mean, there's always now. You can always just put... This green screen was remarkably cheap. I'm sure you know that they're not that expensive. Sky says, what's it at now? It's currently at $150, thanks to 2 supporters who are very generous. Nev says, I use a green screen curtain when I stream on Twitch. It's nice to blend into the background. Yeah, that's what I'll be doing in the future, too, because it'll obscure less of the screen to have my head just, poking up on the corner, if I ever do that again. Because I used to stream on Twitch. I'm twitch.com/insanity is free. But I haven't done that in a really long time. He says, I have enough to green screen to do an entire room, lol. Well, you could always do it then, But Kant says, possibly 2 war crimes. Execution of surrendered and false surrender. Hard to tell at times due to having incomplete showing of event. Yeah, and the fact that the videos were fucking... Sarah McLachlan fucking Adele ripoff music in the background. I'm not, pro-Russia government either. And I think that a lot of the people involved in that are just as propagandistic as this. And, I'm still not a fan of the Russian government. So, the fact that I'm going against Ukraine is because people aren't, and I'm filling in the gap. So, I don't like the fact that they put all that music over it and didn't let it just be factually reasonable, factually accurate. That would have been better. He continues, you only see right before and after shooting, not during. There may be more that we do not have any knowledge of. Yeah. And I've been watching this for a long time. There's Telegram channels you can view publicly that go over just, the Russian war crimes and all the shit they're doing. Or the Ukrainian war crimes. There's also ones for Russian war crimes, and you should watch both. You should get balanced instead of the pro-Ukraine people who aren't balanced at all. Patriot Eek says, reminds me of the African guy who went and volunteered. He was posting and complaining about how his own unit kept beating him. Yeah? Well, dude, how did he score released that fucking thing saying, yeah, you're gonna be called fucking racial slurs. Get used to it. One of the most mask-off, Minty says, one of the most mask-off narratives I've seen is defending blonde hair and blue-eyed Ukraine from evil Mongol Russia. You forgot orc. So I'll also call them orcs. So basically, like, it suddenly became acceptable in the mainstream to call these people orcs. Because the first thing that, like, the first video released by the Ukrainian government was the official National Guard account saying, hey, yeah, we're gonna go kill these Kadyrov orcs. And they were greasing up bullets with lard. And they were Nazis then, too. They've been Nazis this whole time. And the West is just like, yeah, there are Nazis, damn it. Kant says, it may have been made as a memorial. Remember, at the end, there was the dead Ukrainian soldier. I mean, yeah. But at the same time, maybe don't do that as your memorial. I feel like if you're doing a protest video, you should just let the video play first. But, you know, there's a possibility that they did, and the clip that we saw is just a clip that we saw. Who knows? I don't. Each says, I'm against civilians who declare their independence being attacked with militias, aka DPR and LPR, in eastern Ukraine. Yeah. He also says, Nazi's gonna Nazi. Boo. Has a lot of very gorgeous orcs, by the way. Haha. Minji says, I remember when a memorial commemorating a literal Nazi Ukrainian SS division was vandalized in 2020 and libs were angry about it. Yep. That was gross. I got little pieces of the thing on my lip there. You talked about the World Cup yet? No. I don't watch that sort of sports. I watch like MMA and parkour. Those are the sports I watch. Eek says, saying from Russia's side is appropriate here. Russia freed Europe from the Nazis and they'll never forgive us for it. And then, of course, as soon as World War II ended, the U.S. was like, hey, Nazis, you wanna form the Bundeswehr and the Galen org and ratline a bunch of Nazis out of there? So in exchange for being our spy network on those damn commies? Eek says all the WW2 monuments to people who fought and defeated the Nazis are being torn down in Europe too. Nuts. Yeah. Minty says Ukraine has statuses commemorating literal Nazi collaborators like Stefan Bandera, yet Soviet monuments are a big no-no. Yeah, and also, Stefan Bandera, I literally had people telling me that it was okay to celebrate him and that I just didn't understand because you're not Ukrainian. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Fuck you. And Stefan Bandera. Holy shit. Nev says, it's in Qatar. Qatar. The stadiums were literally built by modern day slaves. Yeah, okay, so that's normal though. I've gone over FIFA before and the fact that they're willing to terrorize neighborhoods, completely tear them down, build ghost towns in, you know, the neighboring things, employ slave labor, all that stuff. FIFA sucks. Minty says, also the literal head of NATO was a Nazi. Yeah. Eek says, yeah, actual slaves in places like Saudi Arabia, etc. bring people in, take their passports, put them to work. Yep. Burn their passports, too. Like, they won't just take them. They'll chuck them on a big fire. Nev says, I've been to Doha before, and it's a city with no one in it. Yep. It's a ghost town. It's a mega corporate ghost town. It sucks asshole. Minty says, but it's okay because Saudi Arabia give us oil. Yay, petrodollars. Yep. Oh, by the way, all of you will enjoy the article that's coming out soon. I submitted it today, and it will probably be out tomorrow. We'll see. Skyzone, it really sucks to see that out of all the fandom stuff I've seen, Hell of a Boss merch has the highest markup. I'm ending up paying $70 for a $12 keychain because I lost my wallet. Yeah, well, also, you know, bootlegging is probably pretty heavily policed because the studio doesn't seem very anarchist, to put it mildly. But, you know, if you wanted to, you could just get a die cutter and some, you know, some button preparation stuff and make your own pins of whatever, like, art you wanted. There's something to think of. So, hello, boss, yo, California. All right. Imagine if that's what the show was actually called. Like, the character just rolled up in, like, a fucking Camaro, put down his shades, and he's like, hella boss, yo. Shaw. Skyzone says California, L comment. I mean, the state, yes, but given the fact that I am from California, I can also say confidently, yes, that's an L comment. But he's admitting that. He is accepting and internalizing the L from the California perspective. That's the reason he said it. So W for him. When an L is in fact a W. 98% literal acid water. LOL, probably. Yeah, like, there's so many issues. And the primary issue that I see with the Ukraine situation is that what it's being used for is the purpose of balkanization. And, like, the common person is being forced onto one side or the other of this issue. And the state is using this as an excuse to make sure their power grows and it cements. Vala says, I am back. Someone was venting to me. Yeah, it's understandable. Basically, we've been talking shit about the Ukraine situation. I have a feeling that my channel and content is the only channel and content where a lot of people feel like they can do that. Like, I give them a safe space to say, yeah, this is fucking bullshit. So I'm happy to do that, even when, you know, it doesn't get me a whole lot of support. And thank you to those who do support me. Minty says, weren't there literal biolabs discovered in Ukraine a while back? Yeah, U.S. paid biolabs, and the fucking U.S. government admitted to it and then quietly hid the story. It's fucking hilarious. Absolute comedy. And these people are the good guys. People running biolabs. And of course, it's bats from China, and it'll be something else later. You know, wherever the new virus shows up, it'll be something Ukrainian that's like, you know, probably Russia's fault, because they were already ramping it up, saying that any bio attack would be Russia's fault, even though they had no proof and they were saying it in advance. Eek says part of Russian forces' missions were to rush in and secure the evidence of the labs. Yeah. Nev says, I'm doing a watch party for the England versus USA match next Friday. My bottom scroll will highlight all the corrupt FIFA executives that were paid to vote for Qatar and the fucked up shit Qatar does. Well, that's cool. Eek says it's one of the reasons they had the original mission paths, video of the individual units and the individual locations. Yeah. And of course, you know, they would take videos so that they could document all the Nazi shit they found too. Like, I don't like Russia. Just to be clear for everybody out there, Putin is a fascist who highly monitors his citizens, is responsible for domestic assassinations and curtailments of civil liberties. He jails political opponents if he doesn't outright kill them. He jails like oligarch opponents if he doesn't outright execute them. And there's just like a ton of problems there. And if you really actually cared about the common person, he would be he wouldn't live in a palace. Um, and I'm not a fan of the Russian government. Just to be clear for everybody out there who thinks I am, that's something that if I lived in Russia, I would be either jailed or executed for saying. I would be thrown in the gulag. Yes, da, I would be in gulag, but I'm not because I live in Murika and because we have like the worst free speech of any free speech country, and I'm allowed to say that here. Um, so I don't like the Russian government, but I don't like the Ukrainian government either. I'm anarchist, and anybody who doesn't like that can suck my wet asshole. Skyzone says anything new in your server? I mean, mostly just discussions. Same shit as always, basically. We have a role now for fitness and a role now for VC, but that's basically it. Minty says the U.S. imperialist strategy: blame China and Russia. Yeah, well, and also whatever other nation you need, like Somalia, Syria, fucking Iran. Anything that you can use it. That's the strategy. And communism especially, just like, ooh, them commies, 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 commies. Everything is commies, even when it's state capitalism, and even when it's demonstrably just the same capitalists that I would have called based if they were on my side. Nope, it's communism, because communism is when capitalists do things I don't like. Fucking garbage. Valor says, also, aren't Russian soldiers protesting against Putin because they can't go home? Yeah. Yeah, but neither can Ukrainians, and Ukrainian volunteers were regularly oppressed for, trying to leave. So, it's on both sides. Both sides are doing that. Going AWOL is never really a good idea when you join a military organization. Eek says, yes, checkpoints where the Russians were stopping all people and checking it for Nazi tattoos. Yeah. Valor says, in school I was told that a lot of Russian journalists who spoke out against Putin and the Russian government were missing completely. Yeah, but Zelensky is also silencing all opposition press and doing similar things, jailing people who disagree with him too. So it's not like either side is good in that regard. Eek says, we'd both be in forced labor camps. Never heard of that. Sounds like nonsense. Russia's regularly rotating troops and refreshing them. Either way, fuck them both. That's my stance. We've got 11 minutes until the mythical 90-minute mark. So that'll probably be when we call it, because the comments are starting to dwindle a little. Minty says there were Russians protesting against mobilization and Putin, and the Western media doesn't care about that and wants to make Zelensky seem like an angel. Yeah, and like fucking, I can't remember who he is right now, but there's like an actor or whatever who gave his Grammy to Zelensky, who let him hold it or whatever, and that guy has like a plate of metal in front of the Ukrainian capital. Like, they have all this time to do this, but they're in a war. Okay. Valor says, I hate both governments and I feel bad for the civilians. Yeah, especially the anarchists who aren't on either side. Like, there are legit anarchists on both sides of this who are just like, hey man, can't we get some solidarity? And the other anarchists are like, yeah, we should just get some solidarity. And then their governments are like, nah, you gotta fight each other. And they're like, fuck. Skyzone says, to everyone in chat, what are y'all doing for Thanksgiving? Eek says, daughter and I are cooking a meal for myself and my children, nothing special. Valor says, I think I'm going to do what I always do, go to my toxic aunt's and uncle's place, but I don't know if I can do it because of the gas shortage. Minty says, was it Sean Penn or whatever? Yeah, I think it was Sean Penn. I can't remember, but that name sounds right. Also, I don't know that I've ever watched something with Sean Penn in it, so might be why I can't remember him. But yeah, my plans. I mean, I'm probably just gonna make more content. I live 2 states away from all my family and friends, so I'm probably gonna make more content. You know, um, if I can afford it, I'll probably be getting some like reasonably decent meat, and I'll be making that, I guess. But like, I don't have any very strong plans for Thanksgiving. Valor says, I want to make a pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving. Try this when you do. Try adding like a small amount of cloves, some nutmeg, and some cinnamon to your pumpkin pie mix, or whatever you do to make your filling. Add those to it, and some imitation vanilla, because it's just as good as the real thing. It's like chemically identical to the real thing, and you can get it for a lot cheaper. And so if you do all 3 of those things, you'll have like the most aromatic pumpkin pie. So Eek says someone on Twitter made a joke of it. Turned the Oscar into a giant dildo. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, current goal, I gotta earn enough to justify having something more elaborate for Thanksgiving. If that's the case, then I will probably just get like, a turkey or a ham or something, and have enough meat to last me a few bits. But like, I don't envision doing anything super elaborate for Thanksgiving, because until I move back to California, which is still the plan at some point, I don't really have a whole lot of people up here to do Thanksgiving with. So, whatever. I'm not a holidays person either. Like, anyway, personally, my whole deal is like, I want to learn skills. I want to do better. That's my goal. So, I'm fine with not having a holiday, especially since it's not holy to me, like, anyway, and I don't really like what Thanksgiving is based on. But like, Are you going to be on any shows soon? Not sure how it would be possible, but it would be nice to have a calendar or similar to track your shows, lives, etc. Oh, that's a potential. I could potentially do that. Um, my shows are on like, personally, my shows are on a daily basis. When I can get reliable with that. But also, we do AgoristNexus podcasts like twice a week. And we, like, at minimum, we did 4 episodes this week. And like, I could potentially do, like, I don't know how it would work specifically. One of the things I want to do is get a text alert system, but text alert systems require a PMB so that you can set up a business address. So I would have to get that first. But after that, yeah, there's a possibility of that, like, that I could just send out a text when I'm going live on somebody's channel. But like, either way, the general schedule is kind of loose, because barely anybody's willing to have me on anyway. So, that sort of thing. Like the ones you did recently, would love to make those to support you when possible. The other guys, the libertarian dudes. Those are sort of extemporaneous. They're not really on a schedule. So if I know that that's happening, I will, like, update the server in advance. You're still in the server, right, Eek? I think you are. And if you are, then I could just create a role of, I mean, because I already do have the rule for announcements, where like I tag everybody there at the time. But like, I could have a rule for something like that. I don't. There would be a way to rig it. He says he's not always logged into the app. Yeah, well, I'll try to think of something for sure. Maybe I'll do like a public calendar somewhere. Nev says, I do a broadcast with you, mate. I'm free most evenings. Yeah, I want to do more with that too. You look like the other Jeremiah from Microwave Society. I don't know what Microwave Society is. Eek says, yeah, don't game much anymore, so don't always have Discord open. Yeah, well, I don't use it for gaming, pretty much. Like, there's very little gaming I do with Discord. So, personally, like, my Discord is mostly for the politics stuff, economics, whatever. To scroll up a little. Minty says there was a deleted tweet where a Ukrainian soldier posed with a captured Asian-looking Russian soldier and said, now giving away barbarians for Twitter, get your own while it lasts. Yep. Military is cringe. Valor says, Turkey, a Greek. Eek says, yeah, agree, not really heavily into Christian holidays. I know you join other people's shows. Like, okay, yeah. Valor says, same, I'm a Greek pagan. LOL, yeah. Well, I'm atheist. The closest I get to religion is the one true religion, the speed religion. So, Minty says, NGL, I feel very spiritually lost. I want to believe that there is a God out there, but I also have doubts. I don't want to believe anything. You know, I want to believe that we're not going to die in a nuclear holocaust. That would be nice. But, you know, I can't really believe things anymore. I have to see them for myself, and I haven't seen any. So, I'm fine with being spiritually lost, if that's what that qualifies as. I can understand how it can seem, you know, fucking hopeless because of that, though. But, like, I recommend reading Nietzsche if that's the case, because his whole deal is that God is dead, so what do we replace him with? And his whole deal was like rising above the abyss and becoming the Ubermensch, only in his case, the actual like definition of that instead of the bastardized version Hitler used. He says, I'm on Discord, see the updates. Yeah, I'll stay logged into Discord then to not miss anything, just post it there. I'll look into seeing if there's a calendar app, too. There might be a thing that I could do to, like, schedule events and make sure that people are there for that. You know, it seems like something that would be there. You know, I feel like there should be an app like that if there isn't. So, Valor says, I am eating beef stew. I'll be having a cup noodle that I'll be dressing up with some fucking caramelized onions, chicken, and like probably breading the chicken and also some breaded broccoli. So that'll be my dinner. Kant says Trump got reinstated on Twitter a few minutes ago. That's interesting. Ah, okay. One moment. Trump's Twitter. Okay, welcome back. Woo! A thing that doesn't matter. If Trump gets reinstated and Alex Jones isn't, then that says everything. You know? And also, you know, David Icke. Icke should be back. Of course, Tribal is over here saying, holy smokes, Elon Musk just announced that he decided to reinstate insurrectionist Donald Trump's Twitter account, and we are seeing a massive surge of new users signing up to Tribal Social right now. Please RT to keep the exodus going and to teach Trump or Musk a big lesson. Tribal is garbage. It's run by literally the Occupy Democrats guy who's guilty of siphoning a bunch of funds off to his personal bullshit, exactly like FTX guy did, only for political action committees and not billions, because his political action committees didn't make that much. Tribal is garbage, run by a garbage person who makes garbage memes on a garbage Twitter account for garbage people. That's what Occupy Democrats is. That's what Tribal is. Fuck everybody associated. Holy shit. Kant says, yeah, Elon said he wouldn't reinstate Jones. Yeah, I saw that. Not impressed. Minty said, someone said to reinstate Alex Jones, and Musk said no. Yeah. Patriot Eek says, oh god, people on Twitter having orgasms over voting working and a majority wanting Trump back. Ugh, yeah. Minty says, my favorite Twitter beef will always be when Cenk Uyghur, I don't care, said he could kick the shit out of Joe Rogan. Yeah, and he can't. He couldn't, like, kick forward much. He's fucking enormous. Skyzone says, fish react to tweet, everyone. Yeah. And of course, Occupy Democrat says exactly the same thing. Breaking! Twitter CEO Elon Musk announces that he has decided to reinstate insurrectionist Donald Trump's Twitter account, setting off a massive exodus of Twitter users to Tribal Social, a Twitter alternative that banned Trump for life. Retweet if you think Musk is a dangerous fool. RT if you think that this is antitrust violation. LOL. Just like, fuck off, Occupy dumb shits. Fuck all of you. You're not occupying anything. You're not occupying. Occupy Wall Street was against Wall Street. Occupy Democrats is a Democrat bootlicking front. You absolute cunt job. Also, I'm going to check and see what Trump is even saying at this point. Real Donald Trump. Well, he hasn't tweeted yet. Yeah. Twitter should reinstate everyone. I disagree, but only because I know of a lot of terrible people there that were using it for terrible things, like, pedophilia promotion, doxing my family, specifically trying to dox them. There's a lot of people who shouldn't be on that platform, especially since that platform allows children. I can understand some moderation, and if people really want free speech, they'll go to the blockchain. And the fact is that most people aren't willing to do that. Most people, even who want alleged free speech, aren't willing to go to platforms that are directly geared toward free speech. It's massive hypocrisy. It's a severe problem. I just mean the people removed for political reasons, just those. Yeah, I could agree to that. Oh, okay, you want to hear... Okay, Valor wants to hear a Trump impression. I got things to read here, I guess. The 75 million great American patriots who voted for me, America first, and make America great again, will have a giant voice long into the future. They will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form. To all those who have asked, I will not be going to the inauguration on January 20th. How's that for a Donald Trump impression? I can't tell whether or not I did it well, but you're welcome to tell me whether or not I did. Kant says, I'm too clear, I've got to be a bit more slurred. Okay. I'm asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. No violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you. How's that? Is that better? Either way, yeah, Jane sucks. Still too clear. Well, so part of the thing though, I don't have enough room in my cheeks. My cheeks aren't jowly enough yet. Oh, the raspy isn't. The raspy is going to be hard to deal with, especially since I did some shouting in this stream and I've been speaking for. Okay, well, let me. I am asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful, no violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you. I don't know if that was too clear too. I don't know really what to do with that other than that. I got the cadence right, I think. Either way. If anybody has anything else they want to bring up, feel free. If you want to support me, there are links in the description. I will do a stream with the Saul Goodman background at that goal on Ko-fi. LOL. Yeah, Trump has a very interesting way of speaking, like a cult leader, of course. I said something, just scroll up. Jane is gone for good, thankfully. Was that it? I'm not sure what you're saying. But yeah, I mean, Jane sucks. Either way. And also... Oh, okay. Some guy spammed me with gore, so no. Yeah, see, I think Eek was very specific in his mind, and like, you know, I don't I think that, you know, he didn't mean all of those people. I think he had good intentions of what he was saying. Also, a lot of people are liking and retweeting Trump tweets now that they can. It's fucking hilarious. I'm watching the numbers go up by like tens and hundreds of thousands now that they can. Valor says, yeah, didn't she lie about being abused and homeless so she can buy alcohol and maid dresses? She was lying about being threatened with homelessness, yeah. He says, also, please stop telling people to go to hell. It upsets my wife. I don't know why it would. It's just more people for her to fuck with, so. She lied about being threatened with homelessness over the trans stuff. And she used that to buy maid dresses, alcohol, McDonald's, a bunch of other things. She used it as a cudgel to get her way in her server and elsewhere. She basically, like, literally ran a cult. Like, I joke about being a cult leader, but she literally ran a cult, and she didn't like people asking questions or opposing it in any way. She literally tried to police my server from talking about her, and I was like, nah, not gonna happen. Minty says she also made sexual messages towards minors. Yep. And you know, what's funny is that with this whole new Zerkalo bullshit, basically a bunch of people are, like, lionizing the previous owner of Zeus Drugs and acting like Benny, Dad Chomps, was an awesome person who was, like, you know, beset by him, and then, oh no, they deleted their... The previous owner of Zeus Drugs told me to eat a shotgun because I told them to stop going after a minor and trying to destroy that minor's life. The previous owner of Zeus Drugs got called out for this and had to delete a bunch of tweets. The previous owner of Zeus Drugs can go fuck themselves. Holy shit. Anyway, Jane video will be out at some point. There's just some stuff I've got to get done and off my plate before then, so. Minty says, weren't there some people defending Zerkalo? I don't know where you're saying that, but yes, there were people who were doing that for sure. I knew there was something off about him. I didn't like him, and I removed him from my server as soon as I found out that he was literally a Fed snitch. He admitted to being a paid snitch for the government. He admitted to being a paid snitch on Antifa for the government, and he thought that was going to get him brownie points with a bunch of anarchists. Like, and I was like, You know, explain to me why I shouldn't remove you. And then he kept on just digging himself deeper. He is a fundamentally, like, damaged person. He's not stupid. He knows what he does most of the time. But he makes some fundamentally bad decisions. And he's also a Fed snitch. So I wouldn't recommend associating with him ever. Anyone. You know? And I already told people that. And apparently people forgot. I don't fucking know. But yeah, fuck the previous owner of that account too. Benny can go suck asshole. I cannot stand that whole crew. And, you know, like, fucking Kirun? I don't fucking care. Kiri was all, like, up in my shit about being in, like, Phobe's server because their Callow was there. But did she have shit to say about the Jane situation? No, because Jane was a friend she defended, and that would make her look bad. And did she have shit to say about it when she literally lied about the same miner that the previous owner of Zoo Strugs was going against? No, because that would admit that she was wrong and it would make her look bad. You know, the whole thing was a massive fucking circle jerk by a bunch of people who shouldn't have had the social power they did. And they had the social power they did because people were like, it's just memes, bruh. She's just an innocent little trans girl, ooh ooh. No, she's not. Trans people can be fucked up too. It's equality. It's you have the same ability to be fucked up. And if you don't think so, then you're the bigot. You think you're better than me. Zerkallo claims to be a psychologist, and I claim to be a hedgehog. Skyzone, I got that one guy arrested for going around servers posting illegal porn. Yeah, you've done more than the previous owner of Strugs did. For sure. Hey, stop trying to ruin that miner's life. Eat a shotgun! Yeah, basically. That was it. Valor says, who owns it now? Nobody. It got suspended. Kirun was friends with Jane. I'm not sure about anymore. But I know that it was, and that she never spoke out against it. She never helped the situation, and she would regularly snow everything. And there was this one situation where Crete Greece was talking about how, like, the fucking account got somebody's family threatened. And when I was talking about that, I was, like, saying, hey, I'm that guy. I'm the guy. Maybe ask me before posting stories like this because I'm the reason you're, like, writing that. And he was talking shit about the way a server I was a mod in was being run. So it's like, talk to me before you write about me or you're a hack. But all these people are hacks. They don't actually care. They're not here to help minors or animals or anything. They're here to get ego boosts and feel better about themselves. Plain and fucking simple, yo. Minty says, oh yeah, didn't Benny call you a pedo for defending Sky? Yeah, Benny called me a fucking groomer to a bunch of people who didn't know me and hadn't met me and got them to talk a bunch of shit about me in public because I defended a minor that they were trying to cancel, that they were publicly harassing no matter how psychologically damaging it was to the minor, and that they were lying about, because that's the kind of people these people are. They're a bunch of stupid pieces of shit. Free Vert Girls chat here. You are getting muted. Also, hide user on this channel. We'll do that too. Patriot Eek says, classic tactic, accuse your enemy of what you are. Happened to me too, of course, as you know. Yeah, that was fucked up. Skyzone, man, the times we had in that server were crazy. Yeah, and of course the hedgehog infestation never really went away. Like, I still have eyes in, like, her places. I just, you know, I can't be arsed. I've got too much to do in my normal life. And I already pretty much, like, exposed a lot of this stuff there, so. Skyzone says, I had to pull a vacuum guy because of it. Yeah. Minty says, Key, Benny, and Crete were all just in it for the fame and ego boosting. 100%. Yeah. And of course, you know, I still don't have as much income in my Ko-fi as the fucking, like, lying pedo Jane did. You know? Like, I still don't have as much income as she did, even after all these months after she, you know, deleted from the internet. So, that should really say everything one needs to know about this situation, is that she was a massive scammer, she got away with it, and the people who fought her were too cis-het to get the same attention, even though they proved it. That they being me, of course. Kant says, I think Key did want to help in this situation, though they did not act accordingly. Maybe, but if Key wants to help, there's a real easy way to do that, and it's not just spreading something around that you can't verify and didn't prove. You know? If you want to help, vet your fucking sources. Sky says, Jane groomed the person that I dated for a bit, and from my time with said victim, Jane really did mess her up. Just evil. Yeah. And Eek says, you need to make more music videos, go topless, have purple lights, and get high on your live streams, lol. Maybe you'll get my reference. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, they did not act as they should have. Can't. Yeah. But they didn't act as they should have because they never intended to. It was never about helping people. It was always about helping themselves, because that's what you can do in this space. You can just pop in, act like a fucking savior, and walk away. You know, it doesn't involve any long-term investment in any making. It's like a rom-com, you know? We get to watch the build-up, we get to watch them kiss, and then once the fucking credits roll, we aren't paying attention to, like, hey, did all these reckless and ridiculous decisions they make pan out? Oh, we don't actually care? Fucking let the credits roll. Let all the women in the audience gush over the fucking conventionally attractive dude and walk away. There's not going to be a 2 weeks notice 2. There's not going to be a How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days the sequel. And there's not going to be a I'm going to follow up and make sure the minor I lied about is okay. Because it was never about that. It was always about their stupid fucking whack-off jobs in public. Minty says, also Jane and her cronies tried to dox you and your family and got the wrong address to someone in Florida. Yeah, multiple wrong addresses, even one in Spokane. I'm really glad that, like, I had enough support from the gimmick community, which she immediately complained about, to, you know, get those people to back off. The things that were just said are things that I can't repeat on the stream without getting demonetized. Yeah, like, the whole thing was a shit show from start to finish. I got invited to that from my anti-pedo group on Twitter. You know? I got invited to that from my anti-pedo group I started, and I was told that this was a place where we could, like, go after pedos. Psych! You know? Does the server still hunt pedos and such? I mean, sometimes. Eek says waves at government agents. Yeah. Minty says, also there was that one person she dated who kept defending her every action, even with evidence. Yeah. Do you mean Jean? You might mean that. I don't specifically remember. Because the Jean thing Jean eventually made a twitlonger against her, partially to get me off her back. So, I've got all these twitlongers and all this evidence against these people. So, Neck, because you're asking, I don't know, because I stopped paying attention to him. He was a liability to the effort, because he had, like, intentionally sabotaged himself. And that makes anything he says in the future suspect. I can't use his evidence, and I don't want to be a part of his weird little schizo crusades. So I basically just don't talk to him. And it's a shame, because I really wanted him to succeed. But he did that whole, like, borderline personality thing where he just, like, disconnected. Eek says, reminds me of how people rail against church pedos when most pedos are in government schools as teachers, etc. It's like one church pedo to 10 school ones, but no one wants to talk about that, right? Or the one school pedo to the, like, 10 kids trafficked from foster care. Nobody wants to talk about that either. We're not allowed to make foster care pedo jokes, are we? Oh, yeah, Jasmine. Jasmine sucked and was a racist as well. One of the reasons Jasmine eventually blocked me was because I pointed out how bigoted that piece of shit is. Yeah. Either way, though, we're bellying up on 8 minutes to 2 hours, so. Minty says Neck became really unhinged. Yeah. And, you know, I gave Neck, like, so many of that weird moth character pictures. I can't remember what the moth character was called. But I wanted Neck to have some sort of branding. And I liked that branding because he was a relatively unoffensive character and because it annoyed people in the same way that my Sonic posting did. So I wanted Neck to be in a much better place, but he chose not to be. And I can't have that affiliated with my exposer. You know, I can't be like, oh yeah, this guy that admitted to lying and sabotaging his own case, this guy's giving me evidence. You know, I can't use that. I really can't. Eek says, I'm a member of Operation Underground Railroad. It seems legit and a good operator in the battlefield space from what I can tell so far. Cool. Yeah. Sky says, Jasmine got pissed when I mentioned Luna at all. Yeah. And Jasmine, it's fucking hilarious, got irritated with Luna, got irritated with Sonic, but would absolutely spam Yu-Gi-Oh content. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh this, Yu-Gi-Oh that. Do you want to join me on Yu-Gi-Oh? Yu-Gi-Oh. Have you seen Yu-Gi-Oh? Hey, Yu-Gi-Oh. And it's just like that all the fucking time. But suddenly when people are doing anything similar, but it's not Yu-Gi-Oh, it's a problem. Sure. Anyway. And, like, I didn't mind Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a kid. I liked it. I would collect the cards and shit. But, like, you know, to not only make your personality about that, but then to get angry with other people for liking other things really kind of highlighted it all. And then when she eventually just, you know, iced over and stopped responding to any sort of positive criticism or negative criticism, and then eventually blocked me, it was basically clear at that point that she was, like, anti-fact, anti-reality. She wasn't into it for, like, helping people. She was into it because it gave her a place that she could potentially control and be racist in. Because as soon as she got the opportunity to be racist, she suddenly was very racist. So, Eek says, good night, everyone. Glad I made this one as always. Good night. And Valor says, I got sweets. Minty says, I wanted to tell Jasmine nobody gives a fuck about Yu-Gi-Oh! LOL. Yeah. Kant says, Sonic versus Luna in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel. That'd be funny. Valor says, Jeremiah, I'm going to talk about my favorite thing, SCP, to join the annoying train with Sonic and Luna. Yeah, right? Minty says, is Jane still friends with Ave? Yeah, I mean, that's the last time I saw. So, either way, we are bellying up on 2 hours. So anyone who wants to support the content, there are links in the description. I'm looking to get 200 on Ko-fi. So if you decide that you want to do that, you're free to. Skyzone says Jane is gone. Now she's still there. She's just called Ave now. I'll find Ave very quickly just to make the point. Well, at least, okay, so it was Ave before, but I can't see Ave here now. So let's see. I will find this. I will find this very quickly. Muzi. All these things are such blasts from the past. Kelly. Dick City. Haven't spoken to him in forever, even though he's in the server. Scribble. Kelly. Yeah, I'm not seeing, but I was 100% sure that she was still here. Let me see. I've also got 5 viewers left, so I'll make this fast. Don't worry. Coke milk. Huh. Yeah, that was way after, so. I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it. Okay. So, this was a while back. I'm trying to find it. I'm just going to start clicking things until I reach a potential thing here. Cash out. Google. Delete user. Good read. Kiro. Huh. Okay. Cunt stomp. Oh, yeah, okay. So, that's an interesting name change. I gotta go through these sometime. I can't find Jane right now. But I'll see if I can find Jane at some point. For sure. Because really, it should be a thing that I can find. Valor posts a red guy? I don't know. Earth Nerd says 6. I had you in mini player. I've been here the whole time, just cleaning my house and listening. LOL. Well, hello. Yeah, I feel like it should be a lot easier to find her. And of course, Benji, who was, fucking dad chomps, says, this may be sudden, and I'm very sorry that I haven't gotten back to your last message. I've been very, very busy. I don't want you to think it was anything personal. I'd just like to formally say I am sorry for telling you to suck a shotgun. Looking back on it, it was uncalled for and very disrespectful. I was already pretty upset with you for defending UV's actions and calling me a hypocrite when I was providing evidence, especially with the paragraphs you wrote about me on how stupid I am. We can both at least come to an agreement that we haven't said favorable things to each other. If not, at least accept my apology. So, and then admitting that fucking doesn't think I'm a predator. So the fuck what? I don't care. You called me one, bitch. It's so frustrating. It really is. Anyway. Frustrating situations are frustrating. That message, let me check. That was 8/11/2021, so over a year ago. Not Solus Pacifist. It was a different Benji. He has a tendency to name himself after other people. I'm not 100% sure why. Moxie Thump? Huh. I don't know who that is. I don't care. Point is that, like, I will try to find the person in question. But I don't... They're not here yet. Anyway, that, I think, pretty much calls it. Because it has been 2 hours. And I've got some stuff I need to take care of. So, with that being said, yeah. If you want to support this content, even though the end of this stream was pretty much boring, feel free. Oh, can't. They're different people. One of them is the original Benji, and one of them, or Benja anyway, because Benja went by Benja, but he named himself after Benja after like the thing went down. I'm not exactly sure why. I didn't care as long as he wasn't the same person. So, either way, be well, everyone. This will be happening again at 7 p.m. Eastern next Saturday. That's going to be the general time frame because it's what works with my schedule. But be well, all. Smash the fucking state.